Pain and cycling often go hand in hand, and usually it's good pain, the muscle tiredness you get when you're cycling up a mountain, for example. But other times it's not, like joint pain. I've been dealing with a bit of knee pain over the last few years, and usually it's pretty mild when I'm going on a bikepacking trip, carrying loads of stuff. It's inevitable that I get a bit of wear and tear on my knee, but what I've found is usually just by adjusting the saddle height, fiddling with the cleat a little bit, I can usually get it fine and then it's gone. But this last bikepacking trip where I was in Arctic Finland in freezing conditions, I found that all of a sudden my knee just started hurting quite badly. Pretty sharp pain, and it just would not go away. No matter what I did, started fiddling with the saddle height, saw it in my shoes, but again, nothing. It got so bad that by the time I actually finished the bikepacking trip and I was off the bike, I was walking with a limp, and I really struggled getting off the plane when I eventually arrived home, just to walk. So it was really, really bad. Something I've made a real conscious effort to focus on is my health and my recovery, something that I've been neglecting, I'll be honest, for the past however many years now. But given I'm doing more and more bikepacking trips, and this is kind of becoming my livelihood now, it's something I want to really take a priority in and try and fix. So I was a little bit concerned about the knee, because obviously if I can't cycle, I can't make the films and I can't carry on doing what I'm doing. And weirdly, around this time, I had an email from a company called Prungo that make red light therapy devices, which is something, I've got to be honest, I was very skeptical of. I didn't think it would be something worth looking at, but given how bad my knee was, and they were offering to send me the device to look at for free and test out, I decided to take them up on the offer. I don't normally use devices for recovery. I do have a massage gun that was given to me a couple of years ago, and that has helped with really tight muscles, but I don't use it a huge amount. Usually it's just about stretching and getting your bike fit right. But because I'd done all of that and my knee was still hurting this time, I needed to do something to help relieve the pain. Even if it was just marginal improvement, I felt like it was worth exploring. So this is it, the Prungo Go Flux Red Light Therapy Unit. It comes in this cool case and there's 3 light modules. It's a modular design which we'll talk about, so you don't have to use all 3 of these, but you can use them all at the same time if you want to. The case itself is also a battery pack, meaning all the units can be charged just by putting them back in the box, and it comes with loads of different straps. The box is USB-C rechargeable, so you can charge everything, including the box, using that. This is what it looks like when you attach them all together. And as you can see, there's some red light here, which is of a different wavelength to the deep infrared light, which we'll talk about. Again, I was a little bit skeptical until I actually read up on this a little bit, and it looks like it might actually be useful. It uses specific wavelengths of light, in this case 850 nanometers infrared, which can actually penetrate deep below the skin, all the way down to the muscle and connective tissue. The body's cells absorb this light and it boosts something called ATP production, basically the energy your cells use to repair themselves. In short, it helps irritated tissue calm down and heal faster. So you can use all 3 modules together, and there are 3 settings to choose from, and the options are clearly mild, mid, or strong, and depending on how bad your pain is, you might want to go up to strong. The main difference is the time limit. You can see there's a timer on the screen, you strap it onto the desired area and then you just leave it there. For me, it was ideal when I finally got a few minutes to sit down and watch some TV at the end of the day, but equally, I can leave it on while I'm doing stuff like loading the dishwasher. No different to wearing any other leg support. I basically just used it once or twice a day for about 10 minutes in the mid setting, and I just did it on my knee because that was the only part of the body that was actually bothering me. And at the end of the session, it just times out and turns itself off. I said it comes with loads of different straps, so depending on the body part that you're wanting to use this with, you might decide to use a small one for your fingers or some larger ones for your elbows or your shoulders. Regardless, chances are there's a strap that'll work. For me, it helped with reducing inflammation around the tendon above the kneecap, that's where I was getting the sharp pain, and improving mobility and looseness so I could start to move my leg again. And from reading up on this, it looks as though it could be used from anything from tendinitis, arthritis, all the way down to joint stiffness, which is really cool. I genuinely didn't think this would help in any way. Maybe it was just a placebo effect, but I did find that my knee started to loosen up much quicker than before. The way that I describe the feeling is it's kind of like lubricating a hinge and warming up the joint after you've done a little bit of light work on a turbo trainer, for example. And it kind of left this warm feeling, a slightly relaxed and a little bit more fluid motion. And I've got to be honest, the pain really did subside. Obviously I was resting as well, but using that a couple of times a day really added a little bit of warmth and flexibility to the joint, and I noticed an improvement. So who should be buying this device? If you're the sort of person who struggles with joint pain and you've done all of the other things correctly, you stretch all the time, you've got your bike fitted correctly, even so you still get niggling joint pain, then this may be something to look at. It's really easy to use, and I can safely say that I have seen an improvement in my knee just by using it a couple of times a day, and it's nice to know that I have it there in case something like that flares up again, just to aid that recovery so I can get out on my bike sooner. But yeah, bottom line, make sure you're doing the essentials. You're stretching, you're sleeping properly, you're eating correctly, and your bike is fitting you properly. And if all of those things are still not working, then it might be worth looking at something like this.